Hi soulmates, you're welcome to my channel. My name is Tekla Ezugu, and in today's video I will be showing you the easiest method of achieving this kimono jacket on your screen right now. So if this sounds like something that you like to learn, go ahead now, like this video already, subscribe to this channel if you have not done so, and also remember to turn on your notification bell so that you, my precious one, will be the very first person to know any day and any time I upload a new tutorial. So for this particular tutorial, I'll be using this Ankara fabric and it is 6 yards. This is the only fabric that I'll be using for this tutorial. Now, let me quickly illustrate what we are going to do, just in case you don't get it from the fabric. I am going to assume that this is your 6 yards. You know that normally when you are folding fabric, you first fold it into two and then fold it again, just like I did. This is not how we'll be doing it for this kimono. So you are going to fold it just exactly the same way that I did. Get the full length of your kimono and then now fold it this second way that I did. So this is how we are going to be folding our fabric for this kimono. Then the neckline will now be on this center line, and you now get the length of your sleeve and then take it down to the full length of your fabric. So now that you have gotten the concept that we are going to use, let's now go ahead to do exactly the same thing on our fabric. Now, if this is your first time coming to my channel, you are welcome. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for being here. I hope my videos are worth your while and I hope that you're learning a lot as well. So at this point, I have gotten the length that I need, and I'm just going to go ahead to cut out the remaining one and keep it by the side. So did you see the way I folded it? Even from the edges of my fabric, you can understand exactly what I am doing. What I have here is around 62 inches, around 61 inches, and then you can see the way I folded it again, just exactly the same way that I showed you on my paper, right? So I'm going to go ahead now to come down by 12 inches because this is a kimono and you would want the sleeve to be big. So I came down by 12 inches for my sleeve opening, and I'm just cross-checking to see that what I have here is 12 inches. Now, on this 12 inches, this is where you are going to impute your first body measurement. But before then, I went ahead to take my neck width, which is 3.5 inches, and then I came down by 1 inch for my neck depth, and then I connected that together. So for now, we'll just be using this neck depth. Now let's write on. For my body measurement, I am going to divide the widest part of my body, which is my hip, divided by 4, and then I added extra 6 inches allowance. You can decide to add extra 4, 5, or even more than, depending on how big you would want this kimono to be. And exactly that same measurement is what I'm going to mark all the way down to the hemline of my fabric. So divide the widest part of your body by 4, add your extra allowance. For my own, I added extra 6 allowance, and that same measurement is what I connected down to the hemline of my fabric. Then I also went ahead to make a curve on the armhole part so that it can be curved on that part. Then I'm now going to go ahead to cut out this neckline just the way you saw me do. And after doing this, I'm now going to go ahead to cut out my kimono, and you will see exactly what we have at this point. So now, for this particular kimono, I chose not to open up the shoulder. You can try to open up your shoulder if you want to join it, but for this tutorial, we will not be opening up the shoulder. My shoulder is going to be closed, right? Then also go ahead to notch the midpoint, and I'm going to open this out now so that we can be able to open up the front part, right? So you can see the midpoint that I notched. I just picked one at the center, and then I'm going to pick the center on the hemline. So fold in one side and then notch. Now I am not going to be using that particular part simply because that there's a sticker on that part. You know that sticker that is always on your fabric. I don't like it on the front of my fabric. So I had to flip it to the other side just to make sure that that sticker part goes to the back. So I picked the center on the neck and then the center on the hemline as well. And then I am going to fold it like so, just the way you can see me doing, so that we can be able to open up the front part, right? So you can see how it is. And this particular place now is my shoulder line. So from that shoulder line, I'll come down by 10 inches. And from that 10 inches, I'm going to go down by 1 inch all the way to my hemline. So I'll connect from that shoulder line to the place where I came in by 1 inch on that 10 inches. And I'm now going to go ahead to take that 1 inch all the way down to my hemline. The width of this ruler is 1 inch, so that's why I'm just using it to mark the 1 inches. And then I'm now going to go ahead to cut that out. So guys, if you have not registered for our corset class, just use the WhatsApp link in the comments to reach out directly on WhatsApp. The corset class is just 10,000 naira. You can also use the seller link to purchase yours if you are not a Nigerian. And also, we have a WhatsApp group of over 600 tailors that you can join. It's a tailoring community that you can join, and you can also get to ask questions as well. All you have to do is to click on the WhatsApp link in the comments, and it will bring you directly to my WhatsApp so that I can add you to the group. You can also get our pricing calculator. It is just 4,000 naira. If you're a tailor watching my video, you definitely need my pricing calculator so that you know exactly how much to charge for a dress. Don't guess the price, right? So now after cutting this out, you can see what I have. I am going to go ahead to use 1 inch to join it on both sides, just the way I'm showing you with my hand. And after joining, this is exactly what I have. I have joined the both sides, and by this way, your kimono jacket is already taking shape. I have gone ahead to join both sides, and I used 1 inch to sew it from the sleeve part all the way to the hemline. Now, after doing this, you are going to go ahead to now measure from one side of the front opening all the way to the middle of your neck. You can measure it in yardage so that it can be easier for you to know. So, measuring from the hemline to the middle of my neck, what I got is about 2 yards, right? And then this is what I'm going to use to cut out my band, right? So that 2 yards, I'm just going to double it because I measured from from one side of the hemline to the center. So double of it is 4 yards. So I've gone ahead to cut out my band. This band is 3 inches in width, and then the length is going to be exactly that 4 yards that you now have on your fabric, right? So I'm going to go ahead to measure out 4 yards and then cut it out. Now at this point, you can decide to use a plain material to make your band. For example, there's an ox blood in my fabric. I can decide to use a plain crepe of ox blood, a plain wine red crepe, to make this band if I want to design it a little. So after getting my 4 yards, I went ahead to notch the middle of my band, and I'm now going to go ahead to place it on the center part of my neckline, so that I'll now go ahead to use 1/2 inch to sew it all the way down to the hemline, from the neckline to the hemline on one side. When you are sewing this particular part, please pay attention. Make sure to start from the center of your neck, right side facing right side, to join it all the way down. Don't start from the hemline. Start from the center of your neck. So after joining it on both sides, you can see what I have. You can see that the seam allowance is inside. And by this way, you have finished up the the front part, front opening. Then thing that I did, I am also going to go ahead to do exactly the same thing on the sleeve. Remember that I said that you can use a plain fabric to design this particular part. After joining my sleeve, this is exactly what I have. I also went ahead to do it on the other sleeve as well. So I'm going to go ahead now to give this a good press. But before then, I'm going to fold in the hemline. The extra allowance I added at the hemline is 2 inches. And then I sewed down half inch simply because I've not overlocked this. And then I'm going to fold in the remaining 1.5 and run a thread on top of it. Please remember to overlock with your jacket. Then after that, I'm going to give it a good press, and after pressing it, this is what I have. Can you see that this kimono is already coming out so well? So guys, this is where we'll be stopping for this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed this video. My name is Tekla Ezugu, and if you have not joined our class, please endeavor to do so. Also use the join button showing right now on your screen to join our membership on this YouTube, so that you can learn so many things about fashion business course, right? So guys, until my next video, I can't wait to have you. My name is Tekla Ezugu. Bye.